Hey guys, welcome to this quick product tour of Xcelerate, a job management system for restoration contractors. Xcelerate is an end-to-end operating system for restoration contractors, and whether you're a small hybrid team or a growing team with dedicated office and field staff, Xcelerate gives you one place to run the entire job lifecycle, from the first call to the final dollar collected. So what Xcelerate, the job management system, is really focused on is the life cycle of a job. And that starts with when the phone rings, a new lead is entered, and you put that into the system, whether that's done through our interface or whether it's done through a partner account or whatnot. You're going to have a lead added into the system, and that's where you're going to be able to access it either on the web or the mobile. That lead ends up turning into a job. That job ends up, being sold, turns into actual work, and then you're tracking the work, you're scheduling the work, you're, documenting, adding notes, photos, all of that. Ultimately, that turns into cash and money that you are going to put into your bank, into your business account. And then the final one here is insights. And as you have all of the workflow here, how can we analyze that at a higher level and grow our business and help make better decisions? So we're going to start here with the lead and just walk you through what that looks like to put a lead into our system in Xcelerate. So I've got Xcelerate pulled up here, and I've clicked on New Master Job, and you've got your data fields that you'd enter in. So you've got your receive date, you've got a job name, you've got whether it's a person or a company. If it's a company or repeat company, you can actually refer it to your repeat customer list. You've got your job address information that does pull from Google. As we scroll down, if a property management company is involved, we can put that in there. A date of loss, a cause of loss. All of these are configurable values as well. When the structure was built, if it's a self-pay job, which would be cash direct from the customer, or if there's insurance involved, you may not know this right as the job comes in. So on that phone call, but you can edit that later on if you find out that it's a particular carrier was involved, or an adjuster. All of that information can be put here at the beginning. And then also we have information, let's say there's a TPA involved, you can track that. You can put them in as the referral. Now this referred by is really the attribution of the job. Who is responsible for generating that? Was it a Google campaign? Is this a TPA? Is this a property management company that I have a relationship with? Is it an adjuster? Is it a plumbing company or a plumbing contact? And that all gets tracked right here so that there is that attribution and you're able to track that on the job level and then later on at the business level as you aggregate your information up. When I click on next here, there's a couple things that I am going to be able to do. So the first thing I can do is select the type of work we're going to be performing. So this I chose as water, but I might be doing rebuild. I might be doing contents. I might be doing mold. I might be doing asbestos abatement. So there's a variety of different trades that Xcelerate supports. If you are doing more than one, we support that as well. So if I create a water, maybe that's the first thing, I can have my staff. If one of the larger companies, I have a bunch of staff, I can assign different roles within the company. That's supervisor, estimator, coordinator, things of that nature. If I'm a smaller shop, then I can just put myself or put maybe my manager into one of these roles, and they can kind of be responsible for the job in the variety of different roles here. I can save it, or I can also notify somebody via email that this job's been created. So I can click save here, and that's really the lead entry process on the web. If I wanted to add a second file, a second job file, which would basically mean that we're maybe doing the rebuild as well as the water mitigation, I can do that right here and open it up, assign different people, since most of the time with different trades, you have different staff who would be responsible for it. So in this case, Aaron's the super on both, but a different Aaron is the estimator. So at this point, we're going to want to schedule the work. So I can go down to the scheduler and I can go to the by employee view. And by default, it's going to pull up whatever employees I want on my scheduling view. So in this case, I have Stephen and myself visible as their calendars are shown up. So Stephen, you can see, is already going to the Kevin Wint job. And so I'm going to schedule myself here to go to this job, and it's going to be for later in this afternoon. So I'm going to go here, and we've got our details. I'm going to put up the job that we just added. I'm not doing the rebuild. I'm doing the water job, which can be indicated by the suffix here. And then we'll say, what type of visit am I doing? I'm going to pick that this is a moisture inspection, or it could be a new loss. So let's actually put new loss. And I plan on being out there for about 3.5 hours for my initial inspection. And if I did need to schedule a second person, I can do that right here and pick them, but I'm just going to schedule myself for now. So now I'm scheduled to this job, and now maybe I want to pull it up on my mobile app so I can see it, get driving directions, all of that. So I've got my mobile app here pulled up on the left-hand side, and you can see that I'm logged in. This is my account here, and I've got one job scheduled for me today, and it's this almond job. If all I want to do is pull up the details of that job, I can click on it right in the middle, and I can look at the details that I entered in the previous screen. And you'll see that there's a bunch of connections that I can utilize. We are integrated with many of the industry apps for restoration, but I can also scroll down and see some of the things I can do within Xcelerate. So one of the things I can do is I can capture my photos right here. I can add a bunch of different albums and quickly get that done. I can also view my notes, add new notes. So one of the things I can do with my notes is I can do voice text. So let's quickly see how this is going to work. I am adding a voice text here onto the job. And then I'm also going to email this to the adjuster or to the property manager so they know what is happening. And let me stop that, and I can go right here, and I'll just put in there, and we've got the contact who is ready to go get emailed for this particular note. And then I can save that. Also, any of the contacts who are already associated, I can just quickly add them there. So I click save. Now that note has been added and emailed to the adjuster, to the property manager, or to the homeowner as we document what we've done on the job. We can also get documents signed. So I can go here, look at any documents that I'm trying to get done or that I've sent to the customer. Let's go here and look at a work authorization. And I'm going to send this to the customer because perhaps they are not home while I am visiting. And that's perfectly fine. I've got my contract here. I can fill it out and then send it to the homeowner right at the top and get that signed via email. But I could also get it signed here on site via the mobile app if they are on site. As I look through the list, there's going to be tasks. I can go in and view tasks. I can create tasks here and keep the job on track. If I'm a larger company with multiple different employees who are touching the same job, tasks are a great way to see all of that. In addition, we do have, if we go back over to the website, a way to set up structured tasks that are triggered based on the different job types. So if we're entering a water job, for instance, we can have one workflow that's very, very different from a workflow that's a rebuild, as an example. So we do have quite a few different workflows, and we also provide a bunch of template workflows that you will get that you can utilize in your system by default if you so choose. So this gives you that structured task that moves through a workflow with SLAs and whatnot. Definitely for larger companies, they find that more helpful. Moving back to the mobile side, I can go document all of what I need, but to really get this job sold, I'll need to get a work authorization or a contract. And so I would have to get that document signed. When that's done, up at the top, there's that status. That status will move to that production phase. So now you see that it's moved over to production. It is now being considered work. It's considered sold in our system. And now there's a bunch of different information that you may start trying to collect. If it's a water job, you might be doing daily monitoring. You can do all of those activities here as well. If I go back to the dashboard and view here, this is going to view my schedule. So all of the jobs I am currently scheduled for today will show up here. And for larger organizations, They can also clock in and clock out of their jobs, which helps with time tracking. And time tracking, there's a variety of reasons why time tracking is important, and why users get a ton of value out of time tracking. But the primary thing is you're able to allocate cost. Labor is the most expensive thing that most businesses pay each month. And so identifying which jobs are actually adding up all of that labor, which jobs are costing the most, and also what the margins are on the different jobs is going to be a very important thing for restoration business owners. So that's really one of the primary reasons that the time tracking is not done. But in addition, you also do need to just pay your employees, and so you can get your hours tracked and paid through the system. Now, moving over to the job on the web here, this is a different job, but I did want to pull it up here. So you can see we've got the job status up at the left. We've got the pictures, so all the things that were done in the field. We also have a PDF that we can generate, and this PDF allows you to create a recap of the job information and send it to a homeowner, send it to an adjuster. And so this really gives a single emailable file that can share job documentation. There's a lot of flexibility on what you include and exclude in this. So if I'm capturing photos, I can pick the particular photos that I want to include. Same thing with milestones, I can include or exclude. Same thing with notes. I can exclude or include the different notes I want into that document. And I can also attach any additional documents that are uploaded into the system, whether that's from a form or a manual upload or one of our integration partners. You would be able to append that into the PDF and send it to your external contacts. You can see here we have the loss description right prominently displayed. You also have financial information and a financial ribbon at the very top that gives you high level overall numbers. But I also, as I scroll down here, I've got my notes, I've got my documents, I've got my financials, tasks, I've got work orders. I also have my time tracking and the schedule all within this job detail page. Now, as I click on, let's say, the financial, and I go into the invoices and payments, I can go in and create an invoice here within the system and track how much revenue I've generated inside of Xcelerate. We also have integrations with QuickBooks, with NetSuite, with QuickBooks Desktop and online that sync the invoices that were generated there into this system, as well as the costs that were tracked within the external accounting platform. Those will show up here, including the labor costs that you have in the system as well. So all of the financials are added into the job, and you have a clear picture of the profitability and the estimated revenue versus the actual revenue within the platform. Now, most of our customers do use Xactimate, and so we do have an integration with Xactimate where we can take the job details that we've entered, the lead details, once it's turned into a job, or even before it's turned into a job, you can click on this button and it will create an estimate in Xactimate. And then as you fill out all the information in Xactimate, it will be synced back to Xcelerate, and you will get that final draft PDF, the rough draft PDF within the platform. You can also, going back to the mobile side, create those estimates in Xactimate right here by clicking on that. But similarly, we have integrations with other systems like Encircle, and you can create an Encircle by clicking on the button either on web or mobile, and it will push that information directly into that partner account. Now, once you go into that partner account, let's say Encircle, and you document photos, you add notes, you put in generate documents, get documents signed, those documents and photos and notes will flow back into the Xcelerate system. Xcelerate is really meant to be the hub that houses all of the information from the various different sources. And some of the information also is entered directly into Xcelerate as well, so that really it gives you the best insights of your overall business of any platform. One of the things that we built for restoration contractors who do rebuild is work orders. And so these can actually be generated from the Xactimate estimate, which includes all of the base value, the budget percent, the budget cost, and the margins can come from that estimate in Xactimate. And then you can generate a work order from that and send it to a subcontractor or send it to whoever you'd like. And they are basically given a budget, they're given a scope, and they're given a dollar amount that they're going to get paid. That's different from what the business is going to get paid. And so there's that budget percentage that you're able to see that is giving a margin. And so the work orders really help you analyze your subcontractor categories or your work breakdown by the budget gross profit, budget percentage that you're making on each of those trades. Now, in addition to the job management side of Xcelerate, we also have a CRM system that is really geared towards the sales generation and lead generation side of your business. And for some companies, this is very, very a large part of their operation. And for others, it's not, just depending on where your leads are coming. But in restoration, jobs don't appear out of nowhere. Disasters are unplanned, but the relationships aren't. And so the CRM and Xcelerate is really about doing the work before any loss happens and then proving what the work produces. So a lot of CRMs out there track outcomes, but what we are actually tracking in our CRM is effort. How much effort is going into these relationships? What are we doing to foster them? So that it goes from, a contact list at the beginning, and then it turns into an actual relationship. There's a bunch of activities that are occurring, and then we're in the readiness phase. Okay, we're now ripe, we're waiting, and then we receive an actual lead, and then it goes into the workflow that we just have covered up to this point. That's the attribution phase. So we're tracking how many leads are coming from different sources, but also tracking the relationship in the system. So Xcelerate, the CRM side, is really about doing the relationship work before the loss and then proving what that work produced afterwards. So let's jump into the CRM real quick. We've got, I'm just going to scroll right here. We've got our CRM area. We've got people, we've got organizations, we've got activities, leaderboards, notes, and then a calendar. So if we go directly into people, if we've got multiple BDMs, multiple salespeople, it'll start with my contacts. But if you've got one, this would be the same list. You just assign them to all of the contacts. But really, all of those contacts are going to show up here. You've got your stages. You can open up those different people. So let me drill down to Bob the Builder and take a look here. So here's Bob the Builder. Here's my recent activities, recent notes. We can see how many referrals he's given us. Doesn't look like a ton. Maybe this Bob the Builder's given us more. So he's given us 21 leads, and we've sold 8 of those, and it's led to $89,000 in revenue, which is great. And you can see that his stage is referral partner. And so he's in that final attribution phase, which is really what your goal is. But the CRM system in Xcelerate is meant to move people through that and get them to actually sending you those jobs. And we do have people, and then we have organizations. So Bob the Builder, worked for, it looked like AA Plumbing or whatnot. I think it was AA Plumbing. But, there's going to be whatever companies you have your breakdown here of what type of companies it is. We've got our adjusting companies. I can break it down. We've got HVAC, and all of these are customizable categories you can utilize when you're building out your system, once you're importing your contacts. And so then as those leads are turned into, or as those contacts, there's relationships being built through the activities in the system, then it will move through those phases. And so, we have a lot of activities, both on the web and mobile, that you can access. Let me quickly jump back over to the mobile side of it so that you can see that the CRM is not a web-only system. It also is for the mobile. And so here I've got my companies, I've got my people. And so I'm pulling up there, Bob the Builder again. I can make a phone call, do a text, write a note, or view his full account right here in the mobile app as well. We have a lot of pre-built reports in our system where you can look at, for instance, a gross margin report. and pull up your jobs, pull up your divisions based on the job statuses. You can create your own custom reports. We have a bunch of different data sets to do that with different date ranges. We also have analytics built into the platform, and this is a dashboard that allows you to get really good insights into what you've done overall as your business, where your jobs are located on a map, what you're doing within the CRM, what you're doing on the lead side, whether or not you're converting them into jobs. And all of these are interactable. So as you mouse over them or you click through them, it'll drill down and give you a bunch of different information about insights and analytics into your overall business and business health. And so Xcelerate Analytics is a very powerful tool where you can get great insights in your business. So when you step back, Xcelerate isn't just tracking jobs or contacts. It's connecting the work you do before a loss, the work you do during a job, and the results you get after, all in one system. Thanks for taking the time to walk through Xcelerate with me. Hopefully this gave you a clear picture of how the platform supports the entire life cycle of a restoration job and how it can adapt whether you're a smaller team or a growing organization.